Ultra League returns today, and together, trainers, we're gonna check out the best 5 teams that you can use in the current meta. Hello trainers, Ganeto here, and we're gonna start this week's Ultra League journey with a Dragonite team. This Pokemon is pretty amazing. It can simply farm down the starters, it can simply destroy down those dark types or do massive damage to that Cresselia that your opponent might have. I don't wanna talk about that Giratina matchup because you are still gonna win this, and I prefer the Shadow form of Dragonite in combination with the Dragon Tail because it does a lot of damage. If you do not have a Dragonite like this, just go with Dragon Breath with its normal form, the non-Shadow Dragonite, and you are still gonna be on a very good way to go. On the backline, we have Alolan Mug, which is gonna be the ultimate safe switch in my opinion for the current Ultra League meta, and overall this Pokemon has access to both Poison Jab and that Snarl to charge up faster your charge attacks. I prefer the Snarl version because on this meta a lot of ghosts exist, and of course you have a better chance to win that Cresselia matchup much easier. Registeel is gonna be also on the closing part actually of this line of 3, and you're gonna be in the optimal position because with shields down, as you can see over here, back-to-back zap cannons, even though we are debuffed at this point, can do massive damage to the opponent, pressuring down some shields, and at the same time you can go pretty hard on the enemy with that Focus Blast, especially against the Stunfisk, which is gonna be that Core Breaker that this team is afraid of, and with pressure from the Dragon Tails, which is not the best way possible, with back-to-back Dark Pulses or even go for Focus Blast can be super handy against that Core Breaker, and eventually you're gonna have a good matchup for this team to success. Now we're gonna talk about a team that is weak to Trevenant. However, we're having here the Trevenant matchup, and we're gonna watch together how to overcome this bad lead scenario. First thing to do is gonna go for the safe switch, which is gonna be the Armored Mewtwo, and you can still do massive damage to that Trevenant because of the fact that you have Confusion and Psy Strike. You can still take a shield out of that Pokemon if you play it correctly, or just go ahead and win that in between matchup as we did over here with that crazy Dynamic Punch. But you can always use Rock Slide if you're encountering a lot of Charizards or that Talonflame. I prefer my Escavalier to be on the lead option on the lead scenario, since it can catch several good leads like that Galarian Stunfisk or a Registeel, and I prefer my Giratina with Dragon Breath over Shadow Sneak because if Giratina can beat those dark types, it is really unstoppable. Only the Charmers can stop it down, and if you're going for the higher Elos, you're gonna see that the Charmers do not exist at all, so having that Dragon Breath is a really huge asset for your Giratina, and you can still win that mirror matchup much easier. Here comes down the Dragonite, but we can simply farm it down with the Dragon Breath because Giratina is the OG, the Pokemon that you need to finish off the entire Ultra League meta. You might find it a little bit hard to build this next one, but I really assure you that this line of 3 is really strong and covers a lot of the meta. If you can play it correctly, you can still bail out certain threats from your opponent's team. Let's start off with Articuno. This Pokemon is gonna be a debuffer and at the same time can hit hard with a Hurricane and suspect opponents like the Walrein, which is gonna be, by the way, the Core Breaker because it can beat this Snorlax as you can see here, and of course go pretty well against the Articuno and the Como. However, you're gonna see that with proper rotation we can still finish it off, and if we can play it correctly we can take almost no damage to the Articuno and still farm down with Como, so I would not be that worried for this matchup since you have some options if you can rotate your team correctly. Como is gonna have some really nice moves. Dragon Tail dealing massive damage, you're gonna win the starters, you're gonna have a good matchup against the dragons, and of course you have close combat to thread down those steel types, which is a really huge deal for any dragon type out there. Of course you're gonna lose to the Charmers because you're double weak to those charm attacks, but at the same time every other dragon is losing to the Charmers, so this is not a huge weakness to be double weak to the charm, and you're gonna see that Dragon Tail is really gonna put up the work most of the times. We have here the Articuno, which can come clutch, and the Icy Wind Flint is just gonna do massive damage, so my opponent here has to protect their Charizard, but we can still finish off the job with that Dragon Tail, because not only that Charizard is now debuffed and you can see that with proper rotation you can win anything, but at the same time we have the Dragon Tail which is ready, finishing off that Charizard, and now the Giratina stands no chance at all. From a Charizard as a threat, we're gonna have it now on our team because this Pokemon is pretty amazing and it can really surprise the opponent with a fast attack. We're running Dragon Breath on our Charizard, not gonna use Wing Attack or Fire Spin, because overall I believe that Dragon Breath is really putting up the work against the opponent, and even against a Swampert, for example, you can still pressure it down with straight Dragon Claws in combination with the crazy pressure damage that your Dragon Breath is gonna do. However, on this scenario I'm like, just bring it on, this cannot be a Shadow Ball, and I guess that's right. So down we freaking go, and we can simply farm down with Wolverine. This team is weak to that Regirock. However, you still have a lot of options to go against that Pokemon. For example, the Earthquake from your Wolverine, the Seed Bombs, and of course the total combination of your typings from that amazing build up Trevenant, and your Charizard can still thread down that Regirock if you can play it correctly. The opponent here has at the back this Empoleon, and we can go for the Shadow Ball for the massive damage, and we have to be super careful because that Wolverine now can still finish off the steel typing Pokemon, but they still have that Toxic Rock. Let's see if this is gonna be enough, because this is gonna be a rank 1 Shadow Wolverine and I'm really proud of that Pokemon. Here comes out the final move, the Wolverine with the Icicle Spears, and it is not enough, so down we go at the same time. Okay, battlers, here is the final team recommendation that I'm having for you, and let's start off with this Obstagoon over here, which is gonna be pretty amazing. But oh boy, I just switched out to that amazing catch on the Gengar, so let's just focus now on the Gengar. I prefer Gengar with Focus Blast because as a switch in, as a safe switch, a lot of trainers are gonna try to snipe you down with a Dark type, but then you can answer back with a pure Focus Blast, either take the shield because some opponents might expect that move, it takes quite a while to charge up, but if you can land that move, even an Obstagoon cannot withstand the damage. Something like an Umbreon will take about 80% of the damage, which is pretty crazy, and I'm forced here to lose to the fighter matchup, but it's all good because now my Obstagoon might get a little bit of farm, and with that energy ahead I might have a better matchup overall. Obstagoon is gonna snipe down those Psychics, those Ghost types, those Dark types, which is really huge, and you are still gonna have a really good matchup against those starters. At the same time, you're gonna be in the optimal way to finish off the opponent if you get any boost out there. So overall, Obstagoon, a great lead, a fantastic lead for you to check out, and of course you also have the steel types. You should be afraid of those fighters and the charmers, but overall I think that the backline really covers that weakness pretty well. Swampert is gonna be the closer that you need, especially with that Earthquake to finish off the Registeels, or go with pure hard mode on that Giratina that your opponent might have, and overall I believe that this line of 3 can provide you really solid wins. Thank you for watching, trainers, thank you for staying till the end. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel because it really helps my channel grow, and I hope to see you all into the next one. Take care, everyone!